So the Sunday Cup has now been beaten, and now we must move on to our second beginner event, and that is the FF Challenge. So FF stands for front wheel drive, front engined front wheel drive. That's technically what this car is. So we get 1500 credits if we win, 500 credits for second, and 400 credits for third, and so on and so on. Let's actually get on with our first race, which takes place at Midfield Raceway. And the other places we're going to are Suzuka Circuit East, Hong Kong, Grand Valley East, and Twin Ring Motegi East. So, let's begin at Midfield Raceway. And where I am pretty sure we will have some serious competition. But I am prepared to give this a try, and we'll see what happens. I might need some upgrades on before trying this, but as long as I can get some money, then, well, I'll consider it to be fine. Don't need assists. Alright, let's go. I'll probably lose on my first attempt, but I am prepared to give it a try. As we've got a Fiat Barchetta with a Vauxhall Vectra, a Peugeot 206, a Fiat Punto, and a Renault Aventime as our competition. Here we go. And shifting up into second so I don't get any wheel spin off the launch. Also, our first time racing at Midfield Raceway in this game. I did also turn off the assists just in case, but it looks like I might not have all the power I need in order to actually pull this off. Although I did immediately move up into third position in just a matter of corners, so I don't know how this is going to go, but I think it's fair to say my car might have a power deficit. But sometimes you have to try these things, even though this is not really my best attempt at trying to actually win the race so far. But either way, I can certainly say that Igor Talon I went up against in the previous race, he did prove to be a worthy opponent. And I did have to work harder to try and beat him. But nonetheless, I am here now. I really thought for sure I was going to wind up losing this race, but surprisingly, I'm running up front, and now I'm precisely where I thought I was going to be. We're definitely driving a more powerful car here with the Pontiac Sunfire, but I reckon at least finishing second is doable. Even though it is fair to say that I do have quite the power deficit. So I think that pretty much tells me when these guys have had upgrades fitted to their rides. But we'll see how we go. Even though I am basically getting my ass handed to me on the straights. I'm good through the corners, but the AI are basically handing me my ass in the corners. And if I wind up losing this because of a top speed deficit, then basically I'm just going to have to head over to the Pontiac dealership and get some upgrades fitted. That's about the only thing I can really do here. Okay. Minor damage taken there, but still able to at least hold on to the lead. Which at this stage, I'm okay with. Even though this race was pretty sloppy altogether, to say the least. But it doesn't matter, because it looks like I'm going to win. The Vauxhall is closing in, but he's not going to catch me in time. That was actually pretty fun altogether. It was sloppy, but it was fun altogether. And the Renault Aventime finished 7 seconds behind me, and literally 4.5 seconds behind the Fiat. That's just how far off the pace he was. Anyway, there we go. 1 race down, and still 4 to go. A race that I somehow managed to win in spite of my top speed deficit. I think there are going to be 1 or 2 places where that top speed deficit will be exposed. But it hasn't happened yet. So we move on to Suzuka for race 2. Also, this is only our... I also believe this is our first encounter of Suzuka Circuit East, if I'm not mistaken. So the competition we have now is, once again, a Renault Aventime, along with a Honda CRX, a Fiat Coupe Turbo Plus, a Nissan Primera, and an Alfa Romeo 147. Let's go. As this time, if we win, we will get 103 points, which is only 1 point less than what we got before. A little wheel spin off the launch, but still able to at least give myself the decent-ish start I was looking for. And I'm now... Oh, okay. Yep. We are throwing our fists now. At least that's what it looks like from there, because I got forced out wide. Wasn't really anything I could have done there, because there was contact between the Fiat and the Honda, and that's kind of what got me involved in the melee. Even though, luckily, my car did not get wrecked in the aftermath. But no matter, I still manage to get to the lead. And of course, it was technically a wreck that I honestly had no way of preventing. Plus it was not my fault either. I just wound up being caught up in it. I literally had to see myself just do nothing else but to, well, just try and mitigate the damage. And that's precisely what I did. And up to this point at least, this race definitely looks like it's going to be easier than what midfield was in terms of competition. As in, this race definitely feels simpler, in my opinion, compared to the previous race, because I have what I think is at least a 5-second advantage by now. Possibly even more than that, because at this time, I'm basically just pulling away. And it looks like that's going to continue as we go further and further afoot. I am 9 seconds clear of the Renault Aventime. So I'm pretty much just dominating this event at the moment. So I think it's fair to say that you understand why the rubber banding in this game is not so strong. Because, well, basically, once you have enough of an advantage, you basically keep that advantage. And compared, of course, to previous GT games, this definitely makes the racing feel easier. Because I'm just a long way ahead of everyone else. Because of a Renault that's basically just giving me this advantage like candy. And that's basically how I won the race. Either that or the competition just wasn't able to pass him. Either way, I don't care. And, well, at least I can say 4 of them finished before the fade. But either way, I'm okay with that, because I get another 1500 credits. So, 4 of us finished the race. I had a 14-second advantage in the end over the Renault. Then it was the Honda who finished 3rd, the Fiat in 4th, the Nissan finished in 5th, and it was the Alfa Romeo who came in last. You know what? I'm going to save this replay, because I have not got a replay at Suzuka yet. But anyway. Saving the replay, because I can. And that is now our replay for episode 5. So, yeah! Let's now move on to Hong Kong, is it? Yeah, I think it's Hong Kong that's next. If I recall correctly. I think this is probably where the racing is going to get more challenging. But anyway. On now to Hong Kong Reverse. This might be where the upgrades are needed. But no matter. I will be prepared to bite the bullet if that's what it takes for me to get more money. Because I can do that. And this time, we have got a Toyota Starlet with, once again, a Renault Aventime. But we've also got 2 Peugeots and a Honda Prelude as our competition here at Hong Kong. And this time, if we win, we'll get 120 points. However, that could be doubtful, because we are going up against more powerful competition now, and I figure my competition has got to be putting up at least 200 horses. There was nothing I could really do there. I was trying to simply go for a gap that wasn't there, but at least I managed to clear the first of the 2 Peugeots. I think that's who it was at the back. But anyway, I'm up into 4th position, and now I am looking for 3rd. Trying to see if I can close in on the Toyota ahead of me. I probably should have upshifted there, but I chose not to. But anyway, I am already up now into 2nd position. And trying to see if I can go for 1st. Even though the Toyota looks to be a more powerful opponent. But if I lose the first time, then I'll try again on the 2nd attempt without putting upgrades on. At least if that's what it comes down to, if I wind up losing by a slender margin. If I wind up losing by a slim margin, then that's when I'm just going to try again. And make sure that I do get the win. That's just what I'm prepared to do if that's what it takes for me to pull it off. Or if I'm not successful in pulling it off the first time around, then I will almost certainly pull it off the second time around. Oh, high understeer. Yeah, I think that's partly what caused me to dive into the wall on both occasions there. I just had a snap of understeer on both occasions. Basically, the car was not responding to my command of going deep into the corner exit. And that's partly the reason why it steered into the Armco twice. But either way, this is a close one between me and the Toyota Starlet. I think this could be history repeating itself if I don't manage to pass him. This could very well be a case of history repeating itself. Although I am closing in, so maybe it won't be. Oh, okay, I'm up the inside. I somehow managed to slot myself ahead, even though I did get bumped twice in the process. Okay, doing good, doing good. It looks like I am going to pull this off. And I do. I think it was by less than a second. Or, oh, just over a second, in fact. So the Peugeot finishes third, then we had the Renault in fourth, the other Peugeot finished fifth, and it was the Honda Prelude that finished in last. So I think it's fair to say we're pretty much just schmoving our way through these races at the moment. And that's now 2 races down, so let's move on to race 4 at Grand Valley. And then after that, we'll just have 1 race to go. On now to Grand Valley East. Either this is going to be where I continue my recent win streak, or it's going to be where I wind up losing my win streak again, is what me thinks. But again, that's just on me. Anyway, so this time, I think the Renault Aventime, it's basically just appearing constantly. It's almost like it's basically the Jar Jar Binks of this event, because of just how annoyingly often it's just appearing in these events. I don't have any personal hate towards Jar Jar Binks, but I can definitely say Mr. Renault Aventime is appearing as frequently as Jar Jar Binks. That's just what I think. But anyway, so we have a Peugeot 206 with a Nissan Primera, a Honda Prelude, and a Mitsubishi Mirage, a Cyborg ZR. And this time, we will get 107 points if we win. So let's see how we go. Also, just to be clear, I have no personal hate towards Jar Jar Binks, if you're asking. This is also coming from someone who is a very neutralized Star Wars fan, if you're asking. And well, personally, I don't really care for the Star Wars fandom personally, but By the way, the Renault Aventime, it really does appear as frequently as Jar Jar Binks. That's just what I think. But either way, I am up into second. And this is also coming from someone who actually doesn't mind Jar Jar Binks. I want to make that perfectly clear. I have no hatred whatsoever towards Jar Jar Binks. I like him as a character. I think he's okay. That's just what I personally think. I also have no connections whatsoever to the Star Wars fandom. I'm just someone who has simply watched all the movies. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, I think that's more or less got the point across. And it looks like the Peugeot does have a straight line speed advantage. I wonder if he's going to do that to me again on the second lap. Although, it probably shouldn't matter too much because, well, my cornering speed is just that much better since I have the ASM switched off. And I can definitely say it gives me more movement in the car because I have the assists off. I think that just works for me, personally. And I'm still battling with the Peugeot at the moment, so we're definitely battling this one out. And I think it's fair to say that by the time we get onto the front straightaway, I will have pretty much gone. I'll pretty much be about as gone as Justin Jefferson by the end of this race. And that's precisely what happens. 107 points is mine, and I win by 1.4 seconds over the Peugeot. Then we had the Mitsubishi in third, the Prelude fourth, the Renault fifth, and the Nissan Primera in sixth and last. So that is our fourth race done. And everyone finished the race as well, as we were within 9 seconds of one another from first to last. Alright, final race. And it takes place at... I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, Twin Ring Motegi again. Except for saying this time we are doing the East course. Which, by the way, is basically the rest of the course that is not the West course, if you know what I mean. Basically, it's the other side of the course, where basically the track length is a lot longer. And in this one, we have a Honda Prelude, along with a Toyota Celica, an Alfa Romeo, a Honda CRX, and a Vauxhall Vectra as our competition. Let's go. And we will get 112 points if we win. Well, let's see how we do. Hopefully, we can do well. I can certainly say the money I've earned so far is serving me well. But then again, that's probably just on me. But anyway, we go and move on, because that's what we choose to do. And already closing in on the Vauxhall, give him a little bit of a bump there. I probably also went off track there, just a skosh to try and see if I could get up the inside. That was totally a mistake if you're asking. It was not intentional by any means. But then again, because there's no penalty system in this game, in terms of the simulation mode, since I did not technically pass the Renault off track, I would more or less be given probably a track limits warning if this race was officiated. From what I can tell. But anyway, already moving up into third, ahead of the Toyota Celica, the two-wheel drive Celica I might add, not the four-wheel drive model. And yes, there are two different iterations of the Toyota Celica, just to be clear. And now I just have to figure out how to get past the Honda Prelude up front. So, heading through the final hairpin turn. Although the super speedway course is not used anymore, the road course is still very much alive. And it is also fair to say, like I said before, the MotoGP does race here. They used to race at Suzuka, but then I think they switched over to Motegi. Yeah, I'm not gonna attempt that pass. Not like that. That's a bit dirty even for my taste. I want to make sure I'm doing this pass the right way. And trying to see if I can sell my opponent a dummy, and that's pretty much what I did. And now I am through into the lead, heading under the Bridgestone Bridge, which is technically under the oval, and it looks like I'm going to hold on to the lead here at Motegi. So I think it's fair to say everything right now, at least, it's going pretty well. And I did not have to fit any upgrades to this car either, which surprises me. But no matter, because I got the job done, and that's all I care about. Easy win, baby! And an easy 112 points. 3.4 seconds, the margin of victory. Then we had the Alpha finishing third, followed by the Toyota fourth, Honda in fifth, and the Vauxhall finished in sixth and last. And I'm pretty sure we have a replay saved because I'd saved it at Suzuka. And we're now up to 121,000. Cool. Now we move on to the prize car. I wonder what it is we're gonna get this time. I should also mention my win streak has now increased to 7. We get the Mazda Atenza, I think is what this car is. Even though it technically says Mazda 6. Which basically is, from what I know, the Mazda Atenza. But anyway, there we go. My win streak... No, correction. My win streak... Wait, hold on. Yeah, my win streak has now increased to 7. And next up will be the FR Challenge. And now, Suzuka Circuit is among the courses available to us now. Let's now go and check out our new car. Mazda 6 concept in Pacifico Azzurro. This is basically blue if you're asking. And in all honesty, this car actually looks pretty good. I like this car, and personally, I like it a lot. I really do. This car is good. Okay, anyway, there we go. So, 2 events down, as I will save the game. I will probably keep autosave off until we get to the championship events. Or our first one, then I'll basically turn it back on. But anyway, the FF challenge is now beaten. And next time, we will be doing the FR challenge. And I think what I'll use for that one, just because I want to be stylish, let's use the Jensen Interceptor for that event. Just because I want to do it in style. So, yeah, anyway. FF challenge is done, and next time we will be doing the FR challenge.